Why did I feel like that opening day for Houston, it was their model? That is going to be the theme. We saw who they are, and it was a 3-0 loss. Hunter Brown was brilliant, and the offense had 3 hits and was feeble. What a rough opening day, Houston 2026. But I think that's exactly their identity. Bryce Jones, noon till 1. There's something else I need to share. I mentioned it yesterday, but maybe you weren't here. Where were you? But I'm going to register each hour, 11:50, 12:50, somewhere in there to be exact. I'm going to register another person to have a chance to win a $100 gift card to Honey Baked Ham. Honey Baked Ham is going to make Easter epic if you're interested. They have your traditional Easter eats, but they've got these new menu items. They've got these Easter sliders that are pretty freaking awesome. Check out Honey Baked Ham College Station if you would like to make Easter great again. Just a tip from me to you. So listen in, and somewhere about 11:50 and again at 12:50, I'm going to register. 5 people total make the finals. Got 3, looking for 2 more. For a drawing, that's what we mean. All Zone, Brian Broadcasting, prize eligibility rules, they apply. If you ever wonder what those are, go to zone1150.com. So listen in. I'm saying there's a chance so that you can have a chance. At any time today, you can text me. Questions, comments, and of course, opinions are welcome. You can text 979-693-1150. 979-693-1150. You can light up the Texas Mobile One Lube Express inbox. Texas Mobile One Lube Express, owned by Gabriel Garcia. 979-693-1150. There was so much that happened and is about to happen. There's got to be something on your sports mind. Dallas Stars lost their 4th straight last night. Astros, Rangers both lose opening day. Aggie baseball, Aggie softball, I think begin defining stretches this weekend. What do you want to text about? We'll begin. I'm a softball junkie. Maybe you're new to the Louie Bellina Show. Hi, hello, and welcome. I spent 30 plus years of my life working with, involved with Aggie softball. I was the part-time PA announcer, full-time PA announcer, part-time radio, full-time radio, did play-by-play for 22 years for Aggie softball. Started off as the road-only guy, then home some, and then just the full-time. Home, road, everything. 22, it could have been 25 years. I'm so bad with math. But 30 plus years. I love Aggie softball with a passion. You don't commit 30 years, 3 decades, and loving every second, every minute of it. The things I got to see, the places I got to go, the people I got to meet. It's one of the 3 probably like most important things I ever did in my life. Absolutely loved it. The stories, and again, the adventures, multiple College World Series trips, all the postseason and the rivalries, but the people. It's always about the people. I love Aggie softball. This weekend, it's war. It's Texas. It's TU. Number 15, A&M softball, will be in Austin. They'll be at number 1 in the country, defending national champs, Texas. And ever since they've been reunited, by the way, A&M and Texas did play during the break. But ever since they've been reunited, you can go back, not this past postseason. This past postseason is when A&M softball had one of the most horrific, nightmare, embarrassing, humiliating postseasons in the history of modern softball. They were the number 1 overall seed that did not advance out of their own regional. But 2 postseasons ago, these 2 teams battled in an epic super regional where the underdog Aggies, they were 4 outs. No excuse for losing that super for A&M, but 4 outs away. from the upset. That was intense. That was A&M Texas. Last year, A&M ruled, kind of humiliated Texas at the SEC tournament. So these two have had some wars going already. It's beautiful stuff. It's softball at its finest. This weekend, we're going to find out who A&M is. They've not been capable of beating top 10. They have dominated SEC play since they've begun. They've not faced the top third. A&M softball gets to start defining who they are. They've pulled a great schedule, but they do have Texas and OU. Don't got Tennessee. Don't got certain teams. Other teams have dropped off who are supposed to be top 10 or 15. But we get to find out if A&M softball is top 10. Are they a hosting type team? Are they a filler type team? And it's Texas. I probably don't have to say a lot more than that. I'm fired up. It's one of those days I could walk through the wall, not open the door to go past. I'm ready to go. You can listen to Aggie softball all weekend long if you're not making the trip to Austin. It's tonight at 5:45, and then it's 12:45 Saturday, Sunday. You can listen to Aggie softball all weekend long on Willie 1550 AM and at radioaggieland.com. And these two teams are going to bash the snot out of each other. Texas has an All-American pitcher and more than just one pitcher, but A&M has hit Tegan Kavan so well that I think they just have a good book on her. Like what she does to other teams, they have not been able to do to A&M. They have a really good book on her. This should be great softball. Beat the hell out of TU. A. Staying on the diamond. I think I've said it every day this week because it's important. Aggie baseball goes to Columbia to take on the Tigers, Missouri, in a series they've got to win. There's no other phrasing of that statement. There's no other way to think about it. They can't go, well, there's still 7 SEC series left. It was on the road, Lou. It's tough to win on the road. They've got to beat Missouri. 2 out of 3 as the men. Asking for a sweep, and I don't care who you're playing, and on the road is always maybe a bit much, but you got to win the series. Okay, could not go to Norman and beat top 10 OU, I don't think is a top 10 team. Could not at home beat top 10 Georgia, who's probably a top 10 team. So that means A&M's not top 10. They could be top 15. They could be top 20. They're currently ranked 25. You have to. No excuses. No exceptions. No, you got unlucky. No, we had the worst umpires in the history of mankind. Man, we were just 3 pitches away from sweeping them, but we lost it. No excuses. There is nothing else matters. They've got to beat Missouri this weekend. Vanderbilt at home, I will argue they have to win that series too, but how about we go? We're fans. We don't go one game at a time. I'm going to go one weekend at a time. To sweep them would make a different kind of statement. But I'm going to stick with the first step. They have to win this series. I don't care about the how. It would be great to see a complete performance. Maybe 3 quality starts from the pitching staff. I have a question I'm going to throw out there for the baseball fans, for the true baseball fans. I had a little conversation, a debate, not argument, because nobody really got heated. But on the college level, does the quality start stat, is it even relevant? I talk about it. It's something I look for. And unless you're at a college program that goes for the Major League Baseball equivalent of we're going to use 8 pitchers in a game, so our starter can throw 3 innings and it's okay. Or if we get 4-1, 4-2, we're good with it. How can the quality start stat be irrelevant? Otherwise, don't you need 6? If you're telling me 5-2 is the same as 6-3 on the college level, that's a different conversation. But to say the quality start stats irrelevant, it was a debate we had in the studio here, Charles Schwab studio, not during the show because I was hanging out with you, but someone else. Is it irrelevant on the college level? Because then, if you want to tell me that, what is? What is relevant for starting pitchers on the college level then if quality start has no bearing? What are we looking for? Because it's not just wins. Pitchers don't control wins. That's such a team number, actually, in the end. And you have to go at least 5 for a win. So anyway, on the college level, what is? If quality starts has no bearing at all? Just a question, based upon a conversation I had earlier this week. A&M's bullpen isn't very good, and they're not getting enough innings from their starters, which is amplifying that problem. But I think their offense, they're good enough to bash their way to a super. So just give me the win the series, end of conversation. Programming service announcement. Programming service announcement. Aggie baseball this weekend, every day, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, every game will be heard on Newstalk 1620, 94.5 WTAW, and of course, RadioAggieland.com. That's different. Your home for Aggie baseball right here, the Zone 1150 AM, 93.7 FM, except for one weekend this weekend. Why, Lou? Why? Thank you for asking. NCAA tournament. In March, the madness, the Zone is your home. Being a sports junkie, I, Louie Bellino, want to bring you all the sports. And we can, because the flagship stations for Aggie Athletics, Zone, WTAW, Willie 1550. So, for one weekend, Aggie baseball's on WTAW, 1620, 94.5. And we can have the NCAA tournament from Westwood One. And for you, the sports fan, you can choose. You can listen to everything, all things, anything you want. That's full service. That's what we try to do. Brian Broadcasting, hook you up. So once again, programming service announcement. Aggie baseball every day, all weekend, Friday, Saturday, Sunday is on Newstalk 1620, 94.5 WTAW. Just wanted to pass that along. Did want to share this with you since we're Aggie baseball right now. 3 Aggies selected for opening day rosters. All pitchers. Brooks Raley, Mets. Christian Roa, Astros. He appeared yesterday, gave up a solo homer in his 1 inning of relief. And Michael Wacha with the Kansas City Royals. 3rd season with the Royals, 14th of his major league career. Christian Roa with the Astros, hometown boy, native of Houston, Texas. His major league debut was September 6, 2025 with the Marlins. And for Brooks Raley, 4th season as a member of the Mets, 9th as a major leaguer. So 3 Aggies selected to opening day rosters. Congrats to all of them. How about we grab a timeout, which I'm 2 thumbs up from me. This is the Louie Bellino Show, presented by CC Electric, built on faith, family, and community. That is CC Electric.
You can hear the madness of March on Zone 1150 AM and 93.7 FM.
Missouri, tonight, 6 o'clock, first pitch on Newstalk 1620, 94.5 WTAW. But right now, we are in the Maroon and White Notebook. Normally here on the Louie Bellino Show, the first hour tends to be the Maroon and White Notebook. And we took a look at Aggie softball, number 15 in the country, in Austin all weekend, taking on number 1, Texas. That's a war. We touched on Aggie baseball a bit. You know what I want to do right now? Spring football, is always in their words. Who is they, Lou? Well, the players and the coaches. And Lyle Hemphill, the new A&M defensive coordinator, he met with the media, and, well, here's his spring update.
Just 4 or 5 days in, just what do you think is you're seeing from your guys so far?
We got a lot of new faces. Not a lot of new faces. They're learning the way of Mike Elko and Texas A&M football. A lot of work to do, but progress has been made.
How do you feel about the energy so far? Seems to be some animated, periods there.
Today was good. Today was the best energy I felt, for sure. I think they got their legs back underneath themselves. I think the first couple of days they didn't know the storm that was actually coming, the Mike Elko storm, I call it, and it hit them hard. But they got their legs underneath them today, and they had some juice today.
How would you describe the Mike Elko storm?
I mean, he's everything you want these guys to be. He's at it all the time. It's funny. You get Mike Elko got a big contract. Doesn't change him one bit. If anything, it makes him hungrier. But there's an expectation level that he demands, that he sees this defense playing at, that he sees this team playing at, and if it's not there, you're gonna know it.
Is Damian Samford a different player coming into this spring, knowing that maybe he can be one of the guys?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, and he needs to be one of the guys. I think he showed it out there today in practice, but you're starting to hear him a little bit more. Never heard him last year. Now I'm starting to hear him. I'm starting to hear him talk to the D-line. I'm starting to hear him talk to the secondary, and those are things you love to hear. That's leadership. Especially when we're tired and we're in the 6th or 7th play of a drive, and he's the one getting after him. That's what we need. That's what we need.
It seems like there were a good number of coverage sacks and not a lot of big runs today. Were you pretty pleased with this defense?
I watched the tape. I don't know. I'll stand here and tell you that I thought it was the greatest practice ever and it's the worst practice ever, and vice versa. So I usually hold judgment until I watch the film. But again, whether it was good or bad schematically, the one thing that was getting there was the effort and the energy, which I'm good. I'll be happy with that. If we don't have that, we have nothing.
At this point in the spring, do you practice who's wearing the green dot? Or where does that kind of...
We have a ton of guys with the green dot. We give a lot of them the green dot just so they can hear it. And then when they're on the sideline, they can hear it, so they can constantly get used to just hearing my voice and hearing the communication.
Kind of an impression, for lack of a better word, some of these transfers have made on you. I know it's only 4 games in, but since they've gotten here, in terms of understanding what's going on and then showing you something.
I think the impression I've gotten so far is they all want to be great. They all want to be great. They just don't quite know how to do it our way yet. That's the biggest impression. They don't know how to do it our way. And that's our job. And they're getting there. They are getting there. That's probably one of the bigger jumps we had today, was they started to catch up to the way we do things here. And as they catch up, since there's so many of them, as they catch up, we're going to end up being a better defense for it.
And I wanted to ask you about Marco again.
Yeah.
4 practices in, obviously not very much, but since from the end of last season through off-season things like that, what kind of progress have you seen from Marco?
He's honestly off the field. He's gotten a lot more mature. He was a 17, 18-year-old kid when he got here last year. I feel like 1 year in the system has done him a world of good. He's grown up a lot. He's taken football a lot more serious. Not that he didn't take it before, but he's really starting to, get in and watch film with Stan and he's taking this thing, really the way we want all of our guys to take it, really important.
Along the lines of Owen's question, I think we're talking to TJ here in a few minutes.
Yep.
What do you think last year did for him, and just kind of what y'all's hopes and expectations are him going into this offseason?
TJ was just our consistent guy last year. He was the guy that, he doesn't have highs and lows. He's just the same guy every day. And that's what I love about the kid. That's why he's the guy that leads us in our meetings, in our defensive unit meetings, because I love his consistency day to day. He's the same person and he's the same player every day. He's just tough. He goes to work, holds his gap. He's not a coward at all. That's what I think. That's what we need more of, just a consistency.
In the portal process, when y'all were recruiting Ray, did y'all know that Torian was going to be leaving, or was that process still unfolding as y'all were kind of recruiting him, and just kind of how that?
We didn't know Torian was leaving until Torian decided to leave. It was always kind of up in the air. But on the flip side of that, you've always got to have a contingency plan. So Ray was the guy we targeted as, the guy is if Torian left, and he left, so we went and got Ray.
And just what was it about his film that really stood out to y'all that y'all felt that was a guy that you wanted to go get and bring into the system?
Athleticism. He didn't miss a lot of tackles, sideline to sideline. I thought that's someone that fit our defense really well.
Does that film matter more than, say, production when you're coming up to the SEC level? Like, how much is that accounted for in the process?
Yeah, I don't really look at, and we don't really, as a staff, don't really look at how many tackles he had or how many interceptions he had or whatever it may be, how many sacks he had. We watch the film, and you watch the film and see if he can play. And is the play going to translate to SEC play? And we thought it did, his ability to run sideline to sideline.
Seen Bryce kind of working with the nickels.
Yep.
Why do y'all feel like that's a good move for him, and just kind of what it went into that process?
We have a need there. We've got plenty of safeties, and we think he can be good there. I think it fits his skill set, and he's done a nice job so far.
How much do you think maybe him playing in that position previously, maybe as a younger player, maybe helps in that transition?
It's helped a lot. It's helped a lot in some of his man-to-man techniques, playing the zones, and he has a real comfort with the defense. So it's not a huge jump for him.
Just thoughts on your linebacker group overall. Lose a guy like Torian. You bring in Ray. It looked like Jordan's gotten bigger.
I don't know if Jordan's gotten bigger, but Jordan's gotten better. Jordan's certainly got a lot better, and that's one of the things we need. They've recruited some good linebackers over the last 2 years, and it's time for those guys to play. And that's the way we're looking at it. It's time for Ray to go and play. It's time for Noah to go and play. Jordan, it's time. They've been here now for 3 years. Jordan's been here for 3 years in the program. It's time for him to play. He's got the athletic ability. He's got the toughness. I think he's starting to really pick up the defense now, which is what we need. And we brought in 4 freshmen. So, 2 of those 4 are going to have to play for us. So we've got a good crew there. We've got to get them all going in the right direction, but I think we've got a good nucleus there.
Have you seen Ricky come into form, especially coming off that injury last year?
Yeah.
Just getting back on the field.
Yeah, because, he didn't play last year, so he's really a year away from playing football. So, again, he's one of the guys, the first couple practices, he struggled a little bit with the tempo and just the way we do things around here. He just wasn't used to it, but he's starting to get his legs underneath him, and you're starting to see him make some plays. He can cover people.
In a similar position, Julio Humphrey, have you seen like a change or a difference from him from year 1 to year 2?
Yeah, I saw a change. Honestly, we spent a lot of time in December and January talking, Julio and I, and, just getting his mind in the right place. And I think it's shown up the first 4 practices. He's playing better. He's playing every play like it's his last play kind of thought process. And the thing that I really like that I thought he struggled when he initially got here with, he's playing the ball in the air better. Probably as good as anyone I've seen since I've been here. So that's promising.
Drew y'all to Anto Saka and just kind of what you feel like he really brings to the table.
He's just different. He's different than the other guys. He's kind of like a bull in a china shop kind of guy. He's very productive in what he does. He's productive on his Northwestern film. He's been productive since he's been here in 4 practices. He's just a little different. He's not that. He'd rather run through you than run around you type of guy, which I have no problem with. However you get there works for me. I love his athleticism. Again, I think I watched the film, I think he showed up a little bit better today. I think he's starting to pick up the defense a little bit better. Again, it's a big change from coming from the defense that he played in to playing in this defense. What we're asking him to do is a little bit different, but I think he's adjusting really well.
All right, that's a wrap.
We good?
Lyle Hemphill, the A&M defensive coordinator. And if you were listening in, because that was a listen in, so you should have been listening in, the Mike Elko Storm. Hadn't heard that before. Maybe I missed it. Maybe that was an underground thing, but the Mike Elko Storm is coming. Oh, hell yeah. Sign me up for that one. I'm sorry. I thought that was pretty exciting. The players, the Mike Elko Storm, and of course, a reporter has to see how far he can beat it to death. What's the Mike Elko Storm? Yeah, that was good stuff. When we return, we continue Aggie coaches Let's get ready, and it'll be baseball. Michael Earley will preview Missouri and more. This is the Louie Bellina Show from inside the Charles Schwab studio. It is the Louie Bellina Show, presented by CC Electric, Friday on the Zone.
Sign up for the Zone newsletter at zone1150.com and don't miss out on a chance to win $5,000 in the Money Machine.
Michael Earley, A&M baseball head coach, a listen-in. He met with the media, previews Missouri, and of course, talks a whole lot of Aggie baseball. I mean, he is that coach.
Coach, obviously going against a team limited from the postseason last year, what's kind of the message you're going into the series this time around?
Yeah, I'd say, I mean, our focus is not on last season at all. So our focus is this team and this year and our people. And I'm not even sure how many people were on the team last year that even played in that series. And I know a couple that were injured that are playing now that we definitely could have used. So that's the message is to go out and win baseball games, period. And that's what it always is, no matter the opponent.
What do you want to see from Shane and Weston in particular, just trying to get them going a little more on those starts?
You know, I want to see them be just absolute guys, dudes, because I know they are, and I think we've seen it in them before. This isn't like, you know, we're hoping and praying that these guys have talent and can throw pitches, but like I mean, it is what it is. It's outside of 2 pitches last Friday, Shane was that. Now, you throw those 2 pitches against a team like that, and Weston has had his moments, man. So I just want them. I know who they are, and I know what the plan was for them to be, and I know what they can be, and I know they're going to get there. We need them to get there soon, like now, and get us deep into games and shut some people down, and I know they can do it, and I'm looking forward to, you know, seeing them do it this weekend, and then Aiden carry on what he's been doing.
Vindy's gotten the start at DH the last couple of games. Just what's been the conversation like with you guys as y'all are filling out that lineup card, just what y'all are looking at with that DH spot?
Yeah, I know Wes had been struggling a little bit. He had a little bit of a wrist deal. Could have played. That didn't keep him out of the game, but just with that and how Vindy had been playing, we got in there, he put him in. But we're going to need them both. I think you saw when Wes is going and him in that 4-hole or that 5-hole, like, he's really, really good. So they're both going to play. Not sure who, not sure when at this moment. Still kind of evaluating it, but we're going to need them both to be good for sure.
Kind of thinking in that vein, Jorian Wilson's outing on Tuesday. How much is he pushing for more starts and starts on the weekend as well?
A lot, right? And we talked about it earlier, like a player like him that lacks some experience, you can throw some guys into the fire like Boston and Nico because you just feel like they're ready for it. Jorian, he wasn't. But I'd be foolish to say like he doesn't continue to turn my head in practice and in the game. Just his ability level is, when he does it, it's just different, right? Like, but also when you don't run to third base on a ground ball to first, that's different too. So he's getting better at stuff like that. But and he even throw that ball good from right field the other day. Like that was like 80%. I'm telling you, like he just threw him out because he could throw him out, and all of that. So his talent level is it's beyond most people. So we just got to keep honing him in. But yeah, I think we're about there. And would really like to get him in there this weekend.
What would you like from your team going on Sunday and a win, and then win on Tuesday that you possibly think can carry over to the Missouri series?
Yeah, I think when you get beat the way we got beat Friday and Saturday, it really shows who your team is on Sunday. And you know, I think how we won made it look a little better than it actually. We're just ready to play every game. It's not, we didn't put on the, you know, hit even better sign today. We found the barrel and we found holes, but we were just ready to play. And then same thing on Tuesday. And it's a funny game, right? Because Georgia has better pitching than Houston Christian. It just is what it is. HCU would tell you that too. And we didn't get as many hits, but the intent wasn't any different. It's a really hard game, and you get reminded a lot of what kind of game it is. But we played clean defense, pitched, hit when we needed to hit. Guys made plays, and yeah, I think it shows the overall resilience of this team, which should be pretty evident. Now we need to play even better baseball. Like we need to win games. Like we want to go from resilient to greedy, right? We want to try to take extra games. Right now we just kind of battling in conference, which is fine. You got to have that in this 30-game stretch, but you got to win some games too. You got to win some series. You want to head into Sunday looking to win a series, not avoid, getting swept.
What are you seeing from the Missouri team you're going to be facing this weekend?
Yeah, I think they're a really good team. They're real scrappy, right? Like they get hit by pitches, they'll bunt. They got some dudes in their lineup that are pro players for sure. Starting pitchers, so strikes on the mound. They got one of those lefties on Friday that just fills it up. He gets you out. They've played some really good series. I think it's everyone. Yeah, they beat us last year, and they're a better team this year. So we're gonna have our hands full. The environment's not great to play in. This is not your typical SEC environment. I hate to kind of hesitated to say it earlier. I'm not trying to be negative what it is. They're doing a good job of building that place up and making it better, but it's not like walking into LSU, right? It's gonna be colder. It's not gonna be as many people in the stands, or maybe it will be. That'd be great. That'd be awesome. But you got to create your own energy, and I feel like that whether you play in front of no crowd or you do go to a place like Arkansas or LSU. But at the same time, when it's cold and it's whatever, like it takes a special kind of mindset to do that.
This guy like you, or maybe even Chris Akopian, who's played up north a little bit more, tell guys from the south what that might look like a little different.
Hopefully Chris and not me. He's a lot better player than I was. So yeah, I mean for Chris, it's got no disrespect to Maryland. Those guys they're really good, but it ain't like playing here, and it's definitely not as warm. So a guy like him should be pretty used to some colder weather, and maybe not as great a crowd. Maybe they'll surprise us. And I've never been there, so I just call around and I ask, and I get the same answers back. So if there's 5,000 people there and it's rocking, I'll eat my words and be happy about it.
Obviously being without Josh Stewart for the rest of the year, just what does it mean for you to have the depth in your bullpen that you do, having guys like Juan Vargas and Clayton Kershaw come in and just shut things down?
Yeah, I think it's nice to have those guys. I wouldn't necessarily say we have depth. I think we're teetering right there where we got to get some other guys in. We have the right guys. Right now we have enough guys, but it is really just enough guys that are proven to go out there and do it. There's going to have some other guys that come in, like Grant Cunningham has really got to bridge that gap. And my belief in Grant is the fact Grant hasn't pitched consistently here. He didn't pitch consistently last year just because he didn't really earn to pitch consistently. So my hope with him would be the more he gets out there on the mound, the more consistent he gets, because his stuff, to me, is better than what he had at Washington. When he was good at Washington, the biggest difference was he pitched a lot at Washington. So I think you've seen back-to-back good outings, especially against Georgia, a team that could clearly hit the baseball. We're going to need a guy like him, and Hunter Vincent's got to keep progressing forward, and same with Cole Hubert and Gavin Lyons.
Speaking of Hubert, I want to ask you one more question, kind of following up our conversation on Tuesday. Just how'd y'all come across him, a guy from Pennsylvania, and just kind of how that recruiting process played out where y'all were able to get him down here?
Yeah, it's funny how this recruiting stuff goes. It happens fast. And the first time we saw him was on Twitter, like punching dudes out. And you see a lot of guys like that. You see a guy from not in your backyard, and it's like, oh, what is that? They do a really good job of getting seen, and then his high school numbers are like video game like, and then we're able to see him pitch and got him on a visit, and it happened really fast. He kind of blew up when he went to Jupiter and pitched in front of Jupiter's a huge event, ton of pro scouts, colleges, and it's good. So I mean, he if you ever get a chance, I don't know what competition level he was playing, but some of the best high school pitching stats I've seen, plus get the metrics on his stuff. The fact that our engineering program helped out a ton. I think maybe maybe two kids we've ever shown around the engineering building. You get a lot of kids that say, I want to come here and be an engineer, and about 2 weeks in, that's just not happening, and it's not going to happen. With him, you knew it was. So I think that played a huge role in it here, and graduating from A&M with that type of degree, and he's a pretty big picture guy, so I think it was all of that.
Was that between his sophomore and junior, or junior and senior year that do you remember?
Junior and senior year.
Okay.
It was when I was head coach.
Anything else? That's all we got. Thank you, Coach.
That was Michael Earley, A&M baseball head coach. Again, Missouri, Aggie baseball, and more. And again, I like his honesty about the challenges of playing in Columbia. And, not all the challenges are just the Columbia team. It's freezing. There are no crowds. There's a lot more to it than going on the road at Columbia than just, the Tiger baseball team. So, yeah, I thought it was a really great, honest conversation talking about needing some of the players to step up and how Grant Cunningham is one of the players that is stepping up right now, but he needs more to step up too. Thought it was a great conversation if you really listen closely. He doesn't say a lot, but if you listen to what he says, he's a very honest coach, and I always appreciate that. When we return up next, we'll wrap up our first hour together on a Friday. This is the Louie Bellina Show, and I do want to remind you, and this is going to be very important when we come back from our timeout, the D4 Land Services Hotline. Sure, many guests join me on the D4 Land Services Hotline, but also, you know you can win stuff on the D4 Land Services Hotline. Have this number ready, 979-693-1150. I didn't say call now. Nope. I said be ready. 979-693-1150. That is the D4 Land Services Hotline number. D4 Land Services. Do you need your land cleared, land excavated, land fixed? D4 Land Services. Forestry, mulching, pond construction, metal buildings, D4 Land Services. And if you want to get more information, go to d4landservices.com.
Visit zone1150.com and you can sign up for the Zone newsletter. Check out the Zone prize rules and download podcasts of your favorite shows on the Zone. Never miss out.
This is kind of cool. The top 20 winningest Texas teams of the decade. Since the year 2020, the top 20 winningest Texas teams of the decade by win percentage. And most of the top programs are not even who you think they are because it's the Texas teams. Like number one is an 847 win percentage. Hardin-Simmons, the Cowboys. Yes, Hardin-Simmons, the Cowboys are the winningest Texas team of the decade with an 847 win percentage. Hardin-Simmons. Number two is the Trinity Tigers at an 836. So you get there's other Texas teams, not just A&M and Texas and TCU. I still don't know who UMHB is. I just know that when I'm done today, like 1, 2 o'clock, I'm going to Google because UMHB is called the Crusaders and their merch could be pretty fly, sweet, fat, all words no longer used. But any team usually called the Crusaders has the potential for the best merchandise. Well, the and that's a Texas team? Umahib? Who are they?
University of Mary Hardin Baylor.
Ah, my producer Jeanette for the win off the top rope. She said the University of Maryland Harris Baraka. What did you say?
Mary Hardin Baylor.
No, that's a serial killer. That's not a real university. I'm not falling for that. So at number 4, I know the Texas Wesleyan Rams. At number 5 is Udagrov. We know them, the Vaqueros. That's number 5. At 750 is the Vaqueros. Number 6, Angelo State, the Rams. Number 7, the Word, the incarnate Word. Cardinals at 714. At number 8, we got the first one. Warren what? A D1, P4 kind of thing. The University of Texas, or as we call them, TU, the Longhorns. That's their first P4 type people. At 705, the Longhorns, P4, D1, the first one you might recognize of the top 20 winningest Texas teams of the decade. Texas Longhorns 705. SMU 697. By the way, I think we should throw some respect and love to the SMU universe. They bought their way in the ACC. They did what it took to get into a P4. They played musical chairs. The music stopped like 3 times and they still didn't have a chair. So they understood the modern world where money talks and the rest walks, right? And they said, look, we don't want the revenue sharing for the first, I don't know, is it 10, 20 years? Just let us in. And the ACC said no like 3 times. But in the end, every school but Florida State and Clemson said, why not, man? We'll let it roll. So SMU got it. And SMU is winning. they're not, and they've got the alumni base that's willing to float the bill for it. I credit SMU, man. They're making it work. They're 9 at a 697. We have Tarleton State. Line 1 is ringing, Jeanette. We have Tarleton State, the Texans, 681. What is UTPB? They're 10. University of Texas, peanut butter? The Falcons? What is UTPB? Look, I could have Googled. I love going over these lists in real time. All right, Jeanette, since you're Miss I know every university, what is UTPB? Aha!
Permian Basin.
Is that a real thing?
University of Texas Permian Basin.
Okay, University of Texas Permian Basin.
I want you to know that was a caller telling you.
No, you can't tell me what calls are. They either come on the air or you got to hang up on them. Okay. There is no passing messages or no one would talk to me. Okay. So I appreciate it, though. Thank you. And now we come to number 12. I know what UTSA is. That's UT San Antonio. Good Mexican food. Man, Riverwalk during Christmas is pretty epic. Trinity Valley Cardinals is 13. And at number 14, the Texas A&M Aggies. That's pretty awesome. Number 14 at 658. So it's the top 20 winningest programs of the decade. Now, many people have tried to text me, and I'm looking here, and we seem to have a split on the UMHB. Some people say it's Mary Hardin Baylor located in Belton, Texas. Some people said Mary Hardin Baylor from Caldwell, Texas. So this Mary Hardin Baylor seems to be located in many different series. But the Crusaders? I'm going to go. No, it's got Baylor in the title. I couldn't care what the merch is. I'd buy it just to burn it. So because there's Baylor in the title, I have to pass. But I just like Crusaders as a title. I could support that. But Baylor? No, hard pass. By the way, here's the rest of the top 20. A&M is 14. Kilgore Rangers 15. Tyler Juco Apache 17. 15. You got TCU 16. Texas Tech 17. Sam Bearcat Proud 18. And SFA the Lumberjacks are 19.